Good morning.
Good morning.
Bloody morning to ya.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Welcome to another week of wild and wacky chit chats with the twins. I am Krista.
And I'm Kara.
And it's pretty awesome to be on here together this week.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Going solo for the last couple weeks, and I actually was supposed to be coming off night, so today that's what I traded.
Oh, I did not realize
it works out pretty darn good. And so today, children, no, just kidding. I see, no, actually I don't see anybody right now.
No, nobody's quite
I'm feeling quite giddy and happy today. I've been using this this app for actually 24 hours now. Is the Who Does This Belong To app from Access Consciousness, where every 10 minutes my phone alerts me, who does this belong to? And I have really been choosing to struggle, I guess, at work, where I work with a bunch of people, to not be conscious. And I just want to be present and I want to be aware. And so I asked this one Access Consciousness facilitator, how can I get aggressively present at work and be aware of what's going on in every moment, because 99% of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't actually belong to us. We have become embodied in this reality, and our bodies are very, 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 very aware to all the energies going on around us, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easy to get swept away with everybody else. It's like that cattle, like the herd of cattle, we just it's like we flock to this and we just follow the energy trails of everybody else and we don't follow our own. And so when I'm at work, I'm just like, frick, I'll find hours will go by where I actually haven't been present in the moment with anything. I've just been on autopilot and all this roller coaster up and down emotions going on. And then it's at the end of the day, I can become aware of what happened, that I just slipped out. And so I was just how do I get aggressively frickin' present in every moment, all day long, no matter where I am? And so this app is what she suggested, which I did in the past, and it sucked. It actually made me mad. And I was trying too hard to figure out who does this belong to? Whose energy, what energy am I aware of that I'm choosing? I was well, whose is it? And what does that mean? And what is the energy? Trying to figure it out so much. And then it's oh, okay. Simpler. None of it actually matters whose it is, what it is. It's just that you're choosing it. And so this app, it'll every 10 minutes say, who does this belong to? And it just sucks you back. Actually, no, it doesn't suck you back. It expands you into the space of infinite being, so that you push past all of these different energies that you're sensing, and just really become aware of what is this? Who does this belong to? Is it mine? Yes or no? And if it feels lighter and it feels expansive, then it didn't belong to you, and you can just simply let it go, and then say, how does it get any better? And so then every 10 minutes you're asking, how does it get any better than this? And really curious, how does it get any better than this?
Yeah, really, how does it?
Oh, and
such an invitation.
It is, and my day was so different at work, because I realized so much of my day I spend in such drama and trauma and fear, fear of what might come through the doors, fear of not being able to handle something, fear of not having enough time to do something. And yesterday I just laughed at all of it, because it's oh, that's all a choice. And actually, none of it's even mine.
Good morning. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Mahish.
Oh, hello.
Good morning. We are doing good. How are you doing?
Just talking about all these crazy energies that we perceive. And so then again, on the other end of it, if you ask, who does this belong to, and you you're like, well, it belongs to me. Like, I actually know that. It's mine.
Everywhere where I bought that is real and true.
Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And the app does say, like, you are the only one that knows if it belongs to you or not. So it can be yours and you can hang on to it. But you could, if you dared, be willing to ask, everywhere that I bought this is real and true. I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
And if you do the app and you're like, this is stupid and it doesn't work, then just try again another time.
Right? It's just, yeah, it's crazy because it's like I get like I don't even look at the app every 10 minutes. It just, my phone buzzes and it's like, it's almost like that shock collar where you're just like, get present. And it's like, oh, right. Because it's so easy to get carried away in the stream of it all. Like I said, like following that herd of cattle. And so if you can be that like rock in the stream that just receives everything and allows everything to flow through you and just constantly be making yourself aggressively present in the moment and just getting super aware with all of the energies around you, it does become a lot easier. It definitely is a lifetime thing to practice and strengthen. So I just wanted to read a little bit about infinite being because I know we've said it a lot and it could be a little confusing. So now all I see is the ring on here. So this is Gary and Dane, the founders of Access Consciousness, 10 Keys to Total Freedom. Change your life. So, that's not it. So Gary says, tonight we're going to talk about the first key. Would an infinite being truly choose this? We invite you to ask this question many times a day in response to the situations that come up in your life. It will remind you that you always have a choice because you are an infinite being. So let's start out by talking about what an infinite being is. And Dane says, most people have no idea what an infinite being is. They don't have the concept, even when we talk about it, because where do you see it showing up in this reality? You don't see it anywhere. The best you can do is to create a fantasy of what an infinite being would be. But that's not what an infinite being is. So under those conditions, when you don't know what an infinite being actually is, you don't have the choice to be one. And everything that brings up times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. The way I personally understood infinite being was by meditating to see how far outside my body I could go in all directions. Initially, I thought an infinite being meant I was outside of my body, but that led to the idea that an infinite being didn't have a body. A lot of people think that an infinite being wouldn't need a body, but that isn't it. You have to get that you, as an infinite being, chose to have a body. So, and the body that we chose, we also choose to beat up, carve, say mean things to, all the things that we love to do. You chose to be embodied. You have chosen to be embodied since the beginning of time. You chose to have that kind of body you have, and you chose everything that's going on in your life. An infinite being is one who chooses. You keep thinking an infinite being wouldn't choose this embodiment because you assume that an infinite being would not have a body. That is not correct. You're an infinite being and you chose to have a body. Why did you choose to have a body? And Dane says, well, first of all, there are all kinds of cool things you can do with a body that you can't do without one. Right now, take your right hand and put it on your left arm and touch it lightly. If you didn't have a body, you wouldn't be able to do that.
That is correct.
If you didn't have a body, you wouldn't be able to climb into a bathtub and feel hot, wonderful water on your skin. And you wouldn't be able to feel the sun on your face. You wouldn't be able to have sex. And Gary says, you wouldn't be able to touch your breasts or your or your crotch or any of the other things that are fun to do. What would you have to do instead? You would have to stand outside and look at everything. Most people think infinite being is standing outside and looking at things. No, that's not it. Infinite being is being aware of everything and being infinite choice. So Dane says, it's being aware of everything, being infinite choice, and embracing total embodiment as the joy of greatness, of embodiment that's possible. So how many definitions of what an infinite being is do you have that are not what is? Everything that is times a gazillion. Would you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What fantasies do you have about what an infinite being is that you've made real, that even in the face of total awareness, you cannot and will not change, choose, or cure them? Everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Dane and I have been looking at this area, and we realize that the reason reincarnation occurs, the reason that you have come back to do it again and again, is because you have the point of view that you never get it right. You buy into the idea that there is a right and a wrong way to be an infinite being. Then you decide that you always get it wrong.
We love to be wrong. We love to be wrong.
You didn't get it right based on what? Based on some idea that you bought into. This is the reason we do reincarnation. If you don't want to reincarnate, you have to get that there is a greatness in embodiment, which is the greatness of being totally aware of this reality. So unfortunately, that's the way people think and live. That's what's going on in their mind. I'm right, I'm wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong, therefore I'm right, so therefore I'm wrong, but then I'm right, but I'm right, that I'm right. People drive themselves crazy with these insane points of views. Could you just give it all up? So I'm going to read a clearing that is a mind one, but just let the energies flow into you. How many right and wrong ways of being an infinite being have you made yourself wrong about while trying to be right about, while refusing to be right about so you can be wrong about, so that you know that you're wrong about, and right about, wrong about, so that you are right where you were wrong, because you're wrong about right and everything. Everything that is times a gazillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Times a gazillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
How about you say that one more time?
Okay.
Mostly because it's like funny and kind of like Dr. Seuss.
That's exactly what I was thinking. How many right and wrong ways of being an infinite being have you made yourself wrong about while trying to be right about, while refusing to be right about so you can be wrong about? So that you know that you're wrong about, and right about, wrong about. So that you are right where you are wrong because you are wrong about right. And everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Oh, yes, please.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. The main thing you've got to get about being an infinite being is that you would not choose judgment. Anywhere you're choosing judgment, you're not choosing from infinite being. When you are truly being conscious, you see that everything is in consciousness and oneness. Everything is included, including judgment, and nothing is judged, not even judgment. That is a sign of infinite being. And everything that brings up times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And if anyone is new on here, that is the clearing statement, and you can look it up at theclearingstatement.com. You don't have to understand it. It just helps poof all of this junk out of our reality.
Yeah, basically when we ask a question, it brings up all sorts of energies, and then that clearing statement like clears them out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I don't know what made this pop into my head right now, but something else that I heard was that, like, if you think about us, we are like a drop in the ocean, and we are also the entire ocean. So we are all oneness. Like, we are all infinite beings and we are all interconnected. And so, like, being an allowance of ourselves and being an allowance of everyone else will just truly make your life a lot more simple, because everything that shows up in your life, you have asked for in like consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever the way it showed up because we draw all of that into our life. So instead of like resisting and reacting and fighting what's showing up and being like blaming other people and blaming situations and things happening to us, it's like,
that's been my biggest practice lately, because like we just got out of 2 months of energy pulls where you're like actually pulling in the energy of what you want your life to be. And every day I start all over again, and I feel like on Groundhog's Day kind of. And it's just like, okay, let's not resist and react to what the universe is delivering. And then you find yourself throughout the day, you kind of go into unconsciousness and forget about it, and you're just like just resisting the shit out of what's going on. But the good news is that always by the end of the day, I'm like, oh,
exactly.
Okay, yeah, I see what I was doing there.
And acknowledging that,
Yeah.
right? Not beating yourself up over it. Because it's like, okay, no, that is a huge step. Like,
yeah, so know that everything, and I mean everything that's occurring in your life, you are drawing in.
exactly.
Whether it's conscious or not conscious. But so it's like, okay, like what can I do with this?
Really?
Oh.
And what am I choosing?
And what am I choosing? And
like,
what am I refusing to receive?
Exactly. What am I refusing to receive? That, like, it's like barriers down, and that's really what being present requires, is for you to put all your barriers down, all your very heavily real points of views, your beliefs, everything that you know as a fact, right? Because everything is an interesting point of view. It doesn't matter if like it's your point of view or like a big group of people's point of view, that this is the way it is. If a situation, like, this is the way it always is, this is real. It's like, well, you say that like it's a fact, but what if it wasn't? So, you know, like, what if it's just something you bought into or a whole bunch of people bought into, and you go to a wrongness because it feels heavy, because it's a lie, because none of it's real. Like, it's just crap that has been made up, and like we either bought into it or we decided it, and either way it is all a choice. It's all our choice, and nobody can do anything to us or make us feel any certain way. It's all a choice.
Yeah. Good morning, Louie. How are you doing?
Louie. Can't see anyone on here.
Nice to see you on here. I got some comments here.
What time are we looking at?
11:18.
Oh, excellent.
11:18. Yes.
So yeah, it really is a practice, and it can feel really uncomfortable and really annoying at the same time to be present, to be aware, to choose consciousness. But it's also like no drug that I've ever been on, you know? Like, it's like nothing could ever feel so expansive and freeing.
Like we're so good at, I'm so good at just like getting onto this, like as Crystal Crawford calls it, an infinity loop. Like we love to distract ourselves. And it's like whenever you find that your mind is just going over and over and over and over and the same thing, it's like, ask a question. And the minute you ask a question, it's like,
exactly.
Expansion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that whole, like, just, like, going back to that, like, absolute presence where it's like taking a time out. And, you know, maybe that's how it begins. Like, maybe it's once a day you realize, you know, or once a week, you know, once a month. If you can just somewhere in there just really ask yourself to stop everything. All the drama, all the trauma, all the upset, everything that you're feeling is just like, it's like meditating. That's why lots of people meditate, because they stop all this dialogue that's going on in their brain.
I've been loving meditating lately,
Yeah.
and it just like gives you a break.
It does. Or like
it's not thinking
dancing,
anymore.
watching a movie, you know, like
exercising.
Like so many things. And it's like, yeah, and would an infinite being require all of that stuff? And it's like, no, but could they choose it? Could we choose this because it works in our world and because we've chosen to be embodied in this reality? So for what reason would we go to a wrongness about using every part of this reality to our advantage? It's like, you know, like we love crystals and you know, like coffee, and I love chlorine, you know, like I love going in hot tubs and stuff, and like it's like
all the awesome stuff of this earth.
Yeah.
We chose this planet to come and live
Yeah.
on, so why not play with all the goodies, right?
Yeah, so if there's like, if you go into a wrongness for even indulging in junk food or whatever, because you should be eating like more natural things and whatever, like this conversation could go in every single direction, but it's like, can you just choose whatever makes you happy is the thing. And it's like, yeah, and then could you not go into a wrongness about it because other people might not see it the same way that you do? It's like that whole judgment thing, allowing other people's judgments, because they're gonna, like you said before, like they're gonna be there regardless of what you do or not. You know, like people are gonna judge no matter what. And could you just receive it all and just carry on and like being that rock in the stream that just allows everything to flow graciously through you?
Yes.
And allow the earth and everything that it's providing to nurture you and nurture our sweet bodies that we have chosen, you know? Like, instead of beating our bodies up and like talking meanly to our bodies, abusing our bodies, like pushing ourselves when it doesn't feel light or fun or exciting in any way, and just like be willing to ask our body.
Yeah, anytime you have to force yourself into something, you're in a major judgment. It's
Totally.
like, I should be doing this. It's like, well, how's that working out for you? And it's so exciting because it just means that life can be so much easier than we let it be, right?
Totally. It's a freedom. It's like this high that, like I said, you can't get from anything else, because it's like, oh yeah, I actually don't have to do anything I don't want to do. I just have to be willing to receive everything. Like, because it's like, if you are going to just choose to be happy, there's not going to be other people that aren't happy for you. Like, they're going to judge the shit out of you. And it's nothing personal. It's just that some people aren't going to understand that, how you could actually choose that, but be mad about it because they can't, and it's not right and all that. But so if you're willing to receive, and which is where I'm working at, what we've been working at, it's like, if you're willing to receive, then look out, world, because you can have anything you truly desire.
Yes, and Sherry says, hi ladies, I love crystals and coffee too, right?
Oh,
So
no.
fun.
And there is no right or wrong, there is no good or bad, and it's like, wherever you're at, like there's no competition either. Like, there really is no right or wrong. So wherever
just
you're
have
at,
fun being you, whatever
Yeah.
that looks like. And I say that for me too, because
I
it's
know.
like
You forget.
continuous worrying of what other people think. It's like,
Yeah.
does it actually matter?
Exactly.
Like,
It's it is a real practice, because we are not taught to function this way at all. We're taught to be like everyone else. And so it's like, it's a choice. And it really comes down to how much you're willing to receive, really. Like, how much you're truly willing to let everything into your world, whether you perceive it as good or bad, you know, whatever it is. Just be like, what do I desire here, and what do I want to choose?
Mm-hmm. Seems really easy.
Seems really easy. And you know what? When you do choose it, it is delightfully easy, and you do laugh, and then you forget, and then you go down poop path and decide to make things tough for a while, and then it's just like pulling yourself up out of that pool you're drowning in, and just like getting out and dusting yourself off and carrying on again, and letting go of the rope, like truly letting go of the rope, where it's like you're like being dragged along, like trying to fit in and trying to do things right and not be wrong, and then it's like if you just like stop and let go and be present, it's like, oh.
And Louis says, just be you, and amen. And so I challenge all of you today, something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, where you're just like, I can't do that, like what will they think of me? Like,
yeah, that's a good one.
Just dip your toes in the water and try something out and see where it takes you.
Yeah, that is an invitation to everyone, including us, right?
Me too. Definitely.
And let us know, like, share with us what you did, and I dare you, but you probably won't want to, because that would be too wrong and not right.
If I was trusting me here, what would I choose?
And everything that brings up times a gazillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all names, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Well, seems like that would be a really good place to carry on for the day. Mm-hmm. So, thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Who am I today, and what grand and glorious adventures can I get on right away?
And with that, have a great day.
Adieu. Bye-bye.